Hello, welcome to a conversation on
Discussion.
conversation on Gon's future in the story. We didn't
Red,
just have some technical issues or anything. So if this is slightly awkward in the beginning, forgive us. It shouldn't be too long. We'll get right back into it. My thing is that I think Gon's story is done. It just seems to be the case. Like, I see the first part of Hunter x Hunter as like a part one of Hunter x Hunter with Gon finding his dad, Killua finding his goal. There was that conversation they had under the stars where Killua was like, I don't know my goal, but my goal will be to find my goal. And then he finds his goal with traveling with his sister, saving her, and then traveling with her. And then to me, it just seems like I have a hard time believing that Gon is just going to get his powers back because the whole Nen sacrifice was really, really impactful stuff. So yeah, Thurman, go ahead and state your case there.
I feel like currently the way Togashi hasn't. Me personally, I feel like the way Togashi has written the arcs right now, he hasn't really gave us a general idea that he's written off Gon just yet. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he did, but my thing is, it doesn't really feel like that. It just feels like we're focusing on Kurapika right now because we're trying to focus on him. But to be completely honest, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if Gon's story ended, but at the same time, I just don't see it because of how popular Gon is and how well and how this is staple in the series. It would be like it would be like, let's take One Piece. It would be like if Luffy found the One Piece, and then we say like, okay, Luffy's done, and then we go to like follow Zoro or Usopp or Nami. Following having a main character, Usopp being a main character, kind of cool, but
yeah. Brave warrior of the sea, man.
But I mean, you guys kind of understand what I'm saying. I just don't feel like. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but it just to me it just feels like Togashi has it written in such a way where he says like, okay, we're done with Gon, now it's time to focus on Kurapika. I just feel like this is just Kurapika's and Ryoryo's arc for the time being until he finds a reason why to bring Gon back. Because right now Gon doesn't have a reason to leave Whale Island.
So do you think as an author though he should force a reason? Because I think if it doesn't come naturally, that means you're doing it for the wrong reason.
No, I think it shouldn't. I think it shouldn't be forced.
You think he already has an idea? He's just waiting.
Yeah, I feel like he has a general idea of what he wants Gon to do. Because Gon is such a character to where Gon has a lot of potential to come back to the series. Just right now, he doesn't have any. Just Togashi just didn't want to focus on Gon a lot because.
See, it's funny to me, whenever you call him a staple, I kind of laugh because, like, Gon, while not a bad main character, never really stood out to me, like, crazy a lot. Like, there are moments that I like from him, and he's definitely better than, like, I would call him, like, a good to great main character, but he's not, like, phenomenal by any means. So, like, to me, I don't see him as big of a staple as I see, like, I don't know, like to me, I don't think, because like when I think staple, I think the series could not exist without Gon, but like I don't see that at all. Like this world is so big, and like Luffy. Okay, so One Piece would be hard to me. It'd be hard to exist One Piece without Luffy because like the whole journey is Luffy finding the One Piece, and Luffy is so integral to the plot of One Piece because it's been Luffy's going to change the world. Luffy's going to change the world. But as was discussed with do you remember the Eye Patch Wolf video? What makes a good hero?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how one of the reasons Gon is more relatable as a main character is because he has less influence on the world than a lot of other main characters do, right? So Naruto, he becomes like one of the world leaders and blah blah. That's a lot of influence on the world. And they're always beating the main threats themselves. That's a lot of influence on the world. Gon, he puts this on a chart here. Gon does not have a lot of influence on the world as the like you even see. All he does really, the biggest thing he's done in this entire series was beat one of the henchmen of the main villains. That's crazy. That's insane if you think about it. He doesn't have a lot of political influence. He doesn't have a lot of he does not change the world with his action. He does shit and the whole world doesn't feel it. When Luffy does shit, the whole world feels it. When Naruto does shit, the whole ninja world feels it. Gon is not that way, which leads me to believe that Gon could absolutely be done with, like, we could be done with Gon's story and it wouldn't even affect Hunter x Hunter as a whole, because Hunter x Hunter is good enough to exist without its main character.
See, that actually makes sense, and that's actually a good rebuttal to me. And I actually don't really have a
Thank
good
you.
rebuttal to that. This is the only thing me personally I can really say to rebuttal that is not necessarily in the story itself, but for the fan. Now
Right. Well,
like allocating to your fans is not a good thing.
yeah.
So, but my
Also, I
thing,
really don't think Gon is like a fan favorite. I've never heard everyone be like, "Oh yeah, Gon, love him." Like I
I
like
mean,
him. Gon's always like, "Yeah, I like him." Yeah.
I could be wrong, but it's just to me, it feels like we've seen. It's like seeing this one person for years and years and years, and then we just stop seeing it. Like people
Yeah,
are
that's
gonna
how real life happens, man. Like I
people,
actually, that's the same thing we were talking about the deaths and how they're just like, bam, gone. Like I love that shit because that's how it happens in real life. Whether it be a death or someone that just fucking like flakes on you and never talks to you again, that shit will happen.
because me it feels like Dawn like is such a staple as in like because I don't know if he's a fan favorite or not. He probably isn't, but it's just like okay, so let's take it like I feel like
I'm gonna while you're talking, I'm gonna see if there's any character like popularity polls. Go ahead.
because for me I feel like Gon as a character uh it's more so the fact that like I feel like Togashi still has use for Gon. Like I feel like just right now Togashi is just
What in your
it's just
mind would be the use for him? Like where do you think his character, like what would his character do other than just show up? Like there's got to be a reason because like you see
yeah.
Kurapika is still doing stuff because he's still finding the eyes. The fourth prince has the last of the Kurta eyes, and that was his reason to get on the boat. What would Gon's reason necessarily to get back into the
See,
world?
see, it's tricky because I feel like his reason wouldn't be necessarily be his own reason. I feel like the main
Mm.
driving point would be Hisoka. Because I just don't believe that Hisoka just forgot about Gon. I really don't believe that.
Yeah, that is the one thing that you have on your side that makes it difficult for me to argue this because really, like there was a lot of foreshadowing about them fighting.
So I feel like it's gonna be one of those situations where Gon's gonna have to he's gonna have to try to get his Nen back, or at least try to learn how to fight without Nen, which I think be interested in. To be honest, I kind of like that
That
because
actually would be an interesting concept. I wonder if he could do that. Yeah.
because like maybe like there's like a another like another thing besides Nen and Hunter x Hunter that Gon could use. It's like a lesser known powerful version of Nen, but it's
Oh
enough.
wait,
It's enough
what
to
if they
hit W.
what if they give Gon a Nen beast?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Although doesn't it? Well, okay, it's interesting. Yeah, okay, that could work actually because I was gonna say you have to have Nen, but actually that works because Nen beasts have been working on princes that don't know Nen because and the way that was explained was everyone has Nen. It's just whether or not they're able to use it because Nen is just your life force.
Yeah, so I just feel like because to me like I said I can't express this enough. I wouldn't mind if Gon's story was over. Like I said, I like Gon, Killua, Kurapika, and Lorda. These four are the main characters to me. I don't feel like Gon is like the main character, although kind of technically he is. But these four to me are the main characters. I feel like you can have each one of these four has the potential to be the main character in the series.
Mm-hmm.
That's truly how I feel.
So
I just feel like to me, I just feel like the way everyone's making it seem, it makes it seem like Togashi's just done with Gon. It's like he doesn't want to do anything with Gon anymore. And I feel like Togashi as a writer wouldn't do that because if you look at Yu Yu Hakusho, I mean, some people there's a humongous argument among Togashi fans, which is better, Hunter x Hunter or Yu Yu Hakusho, whatever.
easy, Hunter x Hunter. Are you kidding me?
Oh, please don't start a war in the comments section, Rad. You know,
Fuck all you that don't think Hunter x Hunter is better.
there's a lot of you're gonna start a war with the Togashi fans.
Hunter x
There.
Hunter is like a better version. Yeah, it expresses the views of me. Shocker. Couldn't have fucking put that in that together.
Cause see, I'm a humongous Togashi fan. I still haven't finished reading Yu Yu Hakusho, but Yu Yu Hakusho
it's good.
A masterpiece. But you know, but it's just like if we take Yu Yu Hakusho into account, you know, and it's and I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho to me is like the Dragon Ball Z that it's like what Dragon Ball Z could have been if Akira Toriyama focused on story more.
Yeah,
because
honestly.
Yu Yu Hakusho has great fights, but also has a great story. So I feel like that will works in that's what works
That's how I feel about Hunter x Hunter.
Yu Yu Hakusho's favor is that it's story, but that'll be safe for another video. But if we take Yu Yu Hakusho into account, we see like Yusuke wasn't necessarily the driving point of Yu Yu Hakusho per se, because we still had Hiei, we still had Kumobara, we still had I forgot I got the last one who uses the rose name.
Kurama.
Kurama is that the formula that Hunter x Hunter uses there with the four main characters who can drop who each one of those four could be MC. It's the same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho. Each one
There's
of those
a bit of a difference there in the sense that you know, I believe Yu Yu Hakusho only went for like 100 something chapters, pretty
it's
short.
172 chapters.
Pretty short in the grand scheme of things. And I feel like at this point, Togashi's the kind of, you got to remember, Togashi's one of the few writers that is not doing this as a business scheme. He is plenty rich. I hope you know this. He wrote Yu Yu Hakusho, and his wife wrote Sailor Moon. They're loaded. They're fine. You know what I mean? Like he's not doing this to make money, as evident by the fact that he barely writes anyway. He has said many times that this is his hobby and he does it for fun. So I don't feel like he would be worried about, oh no, the popularity might go down because Gon's gone. You know, that's not the kind of thing he would be concerned about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's one of the rare authors. That's why Hunter x Hunter is so different in my mind, because he's not writing it to appease fans. He's writing it because he likes it. Hobby. He has a passion for that story, clearly. Because, you know, he was in so much pain, he could have easily ended the story after going. It would have sucked, but he could have. He had a good ending point. Not a good ending point, but he had an ending point that he could have ended it on if he was in all the pain, and he chose to keep going because he likes writing it. And to me, I don't think he would be beholden to what's popular, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I read this in our first failed take, but I do think it's important to read again because it is, I think it says a lot. There's a phone call between Jing and Gon, where Gon on the boat ride to Whale Island, he realizes that he can't use Nen, and he calls his dad, which is cool that his dad actually is responding to him now. I like how his dad's like, okay, you found me, I guess I'll semi be a father. Amazing. But no, he says, you don't have any aura. It just, well, yeah, he's like, you had it when you were with me, which as in like you have aura, you don't see it anymore because you don't have, no Nen anymore, quote unquote. It just means you went back to normal. Isn't that enough? Remember what you told me. You fought with the intent to throw everything away, and yet you turned back to normal. You'd be ungrateful if you wanted more. Be happy about it. And then he says, this will be a good opportunity for you to figure out what you can do as you are now. To me, that just feels like Togashi's kind of like, the lesson there is that Gon did a sacrifice, and it was an immature situation. Everyone that, like, even Neferpitu, when he did it, she couldn't believe it because he fucking genders are weird because manga, anime, there's discrepancy. Anyway, Neferpitu couldn't fucking believe it when that happened because she was like, he who has so much potential that if literally just given normal training and aging up naturally, he would be more powerful than the king. Like, that was what that was implying. Did you get that, Thurman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, just living on and training normally, he would be more powerful than the king. That's how good his training. Like, he would have been like a second Netero. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he gave that up for like 2 minutes of power to defeat her. So Neferpitu couldn't fucking believe that he would do that. And that is kind of showing the severity of that sacrifice. It's a huge deal. And if Togashi were to just throw that away, like, whatever, that would really, like, have you ever read a manga where, like, they do something in the plot that totally, like, ruins a moment earlier in the plot?
Oh yeah, I've read many.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like a moment you fucking loved, and then like they do something that totally ruins it. Like that would really sour that moment. If he brought his Nen back.
See, my thing with that is I understand with that, and I can't have a good rebuttal for that either.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
a gut feeling, man. Am I wrong?
No, it's more so in the fact that it would be more so in the fact of not necessarily bringing his Nen back, but I feel like Togashi's such a good writer. He would be able to write it in a way where fans wouldn't be upset. Generally I feel like he would write it in such a way where fans wouldn't be, pissed off because, oh my god, scapegoat, he got his men back.
Well, yeah, he would definitely write it in a good way, but it would still feel like.
It was still a bad taste in his mouth. But it's just me because my biggest thing, the way he's writing, and I keep repeating this because I don't think people will kind of understand what I mean. Is just the way Togashi, like, okay, so let me think of an example. Each mangaka writes a certain way where it's not predictable, but you sort of feel like there's like you can kind of feel the direction they want to go. Does that make sense?
Like, yeah, but that's interesting because I feel the other way around.
Like you can kind of feel, well, it's subjective. This type of stuff is subjective,
which means your entire argument is pointless.
every fan has their own thing, but to me it feels like Togashi hasn't written it the way where he's saying like, oh, we're done with Gon now. I feel like he's just putting Gon
in what way? Other than just you feel like that. Like, what are some clues you can give me that make you think that?
Because just of how well. First of all, I'm in love with this arc right now. But we're just focusing on Kurapika right now because we didn't see much of Kurapika at all in the last arc. When during the
dude, the last time we really saw Kurapika was like like he did more than just like us looking at him was the Phantom Troop arc, like legit. Like, yeah, I think every fucking appearance of Kurapika after the Phantom Troop arc. They called him during Greed Island to make sure that Corolla wasn't in the game. Like, hey, did Corolla get his Nen back? No, he didn't. I can tell. Okay. And then we saw him fucking talk to the Nostrade dude, and he was like, "Oh gosh, I don't have Neon anymore. I can't tell the future." And he was like, "Chill, bro." And then we literally, after that, nothing in Chimera, and then he just showed up creepily staring at his fucking eyeball cult room, and that was about it.
Yeah, see, because with that, I just feel like we're just focusing on Kurapika because Kurapika hasn't really got any, he's still a main character, so, we have to see what he's doing right now and what he's doing. And I feel like Togashi takes breaks with certain main characters. Because
right.
Because so and that's pretty much probably.
Don't you think that if he wanted to take a break with Gon, he could have just not had him use his Nen, and just had him go back and visit his.
But that's unique, though. That's unique.
No, it's okay. No, it's not. First of all, no, it's not. If he brings his power back, it's definitely not unique. I've seen that. I can list like 3 fucking anime that I've seen that lose your power trope.
No, but if he loses his power, then he can make it so where Gon has to accept that and learn how to fight without Nen.
If he does that, then fuck yeah, I would have no issue with that as long as it makes sense where the power is coming from, or if he just like pulls a fucking the theory with Shanks from One Piece is that he doesn't have a devil fruit, but he just like his hockey is so goddamn good that he can stand up to people even with devil fruits.
Yeah. Time for I'm calling it.
Oh, that would be cringe. That's too much. And people only say that because of his video game fucking power.
I need that time for.
That'd be cringe. That'd be too no cringe. That's like you know how OC that is. That's such an OC. Like my character has the ability to fucking stop time. No, Oda's more original than that. But yeah. So I think. Oh, and by the way, I found his explanation of Nen because in our past before we had our fucking shit fucked up. You were wondering if everyone could use Nen or blah blah blah. He basically said, he says, such a power exists within everyone, but very few know it, let alone can actually utilize it. Those who become known, or those who do become known as geniuses, psychics, or superhuman. There are 2 ways to awaken this power, and then he goes into like the slowly and carefully or by force. So yeah, and the thing too is with the whole by force thing. Like you can do that to anyone, but if you aren't able to control it, you just die. Remember, because like basically your life force starts leaking out, and if you're not able to control it, it's like okay, your life force is leaking out. You can either learn to control it or you'll die. Yeah. Thurman?
Yeah.
So I guess. Well, you got any more thoughts?
Honestly, I feel like we were both making good points, but I don't feel like.
We're not gonna get.
Usually how our conversations go, we just have to agree to disagree.
Oh, always, yeah. That's why I just think it's an entertaining topic. But like, I guess I'll end it off by saying I feel like what Togashi has set up here, especially with one Nen sacrifice. Well, actually, no, there's a bit more to talk about. You were talking about here. I want to talk about this hypothetical scenario. The scenario that I can totally see, just as you can kind of totally see it. The scenario of Hisoka fucking at some point somehow coming up to Gon, saying, "Hey, I want to fight you." Gon being like, "Can't, don't have Nen." Him being like, "Okay, well, I'll get it back for you somehow. I'll fucking tear the world apart to get it back." And he's like, "No, I'm not really into that." And he's like, "Oh, I'll start killing your friends one by one," because Hisoka's on that no chill level right now. He's no chill.
I feel, that's what I'm saying. The way
Thurman.
Sorry, I was trying to get my words out. The way Kurapika is not. Why do I keep saying Kurapika? Hisoka. The way Hisoka is now, I feel like he would just be like, "No, chill. Like, go and you better get your Nen. I'm killing everyone you love."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can legitimately see Hisoka going up to an island, going, "Gon, if you don't get your Nen back in such and such amount of time, I'm going to kill your aunt right in front of you."
Yo,
I can see him do that.
That'd be amazing.
And it's just like, okay, it's just
I'd be down. I would just have to understand how in the fuck he'd get it back. Now here's the Thurman, have you ever heard the term the elephant in the room? You know what that means?
Yeah.
Here's the elephant in the room that I gotta fucking bring up that I never like to because it just breaks reality. It's a reality breaking power and it's confusing. But Nanika.
Nanika.
Theoretically, considering Nanika is just all powerful and shit, and Nanika stopped what should have been literally by force. Like nature said that Gon should have died. Every rule in the book said that Gon should have died there, and then Nanika was able to be like, nope, I can stop this. Theoretically, could they? This would be shitty, obviously, but like theoretically, could they be like, hey Nanika, give Gon his Nen back?
I mean, it would make sense.
It'd be shitty though, which is why I don't think Togashi's going to do that.
What I would like, because do we know where? Because they say Nen is they say Nen's life force, but do we know where Nen originated from?
I just assume that that's not going to be like a chakra thing from fucking Naruto. I just assume that like every fucking being has it, and just like that's like how physics work in their world,
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of interesting if they said like a dark continent where Nen came from. I think that'd be really great. That'd be kind of a plot.
I could see that. Point. I could definitely see that. Well, you know what I want. I need to learn about. I need to know Gon's mom. I need to know who Jing one night standed. Because that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't have a one night stand. Came back 9 months. The baby. I don't fucking know.
So have you seen the Hunter x Hunter movie?
I have not because I'm a canon Nazi. What I do know from that movie is what's canon, which is Kurapika's flashback, because Togashi actually wrote that into a manga chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But no, go ahead and fucking give me the lowdown on that movie.
So basically, in that movie, there was like a opposite side to Nen. It was called Own.
Oh yeah.
Own is like, I would say like the negative version of Nen, where there is no like manipulator. All the categories of Nen are packed into one, and it requires your life like it corrupts you. And Gon actually took Own by himself. That's why I love Gon as the main character, because he, as a kid, he's like such a badass. But I'm just saying, like, if Togashi
was
really
more badass.
Whatever. Okay, it's not. It's not a competition.
Hold on. You legitimately think Gon's more badass than Killua?
I didn't say that, but you're just a Kurapika fanboy. So
I'm a Killua fanboy.
Whatever. You're a Kurapika and Killua fanboy. You're into those pretty boys.
Yeah, my favorite character in One Piece, Usopp, such a pretty boy.
You're such a pretty boy. Sad, tragic backstory fanboy.
No, dude, that's so funny that you're saying that. We had a fucking conversation just in the gentle criminal My Hero Academia discussion. Link in the card. David will put a card there. I'll make him. Um, in that discussion, we talked about how much I love fucking silly characters. Usopp, my boy, gentle criminal in My Hero Academia. I already love him. You know I love me some silly characters. Don't fuck with me.
It's a joke.
I know it's a joke. Fuck you.
But I mean, if Togashi really wanted, he could write Own in canon. Because I was kind of ashamed that Own was non-canon because that was actually really interesting.
I'm always curious with those movies, like how much influence the author actually had. Like what did the author put into that? Because I know what he did put into that was Kurapika flashback. They asked him for a Kurapika flashback, and he was like, okay, because I've seen it in the manga. Have you seen the manga version of the Kurapika flashback?
Where he went to the human world or
whatever. Well, it's just a village in the middle of the woods is what the Kurta clan is. Really deep in the middle of the woods. He went out to get supplies, and he came back, and they were all fucking dead.
Yeah. It's with that situation. Own was a very, very interesting power. Like the way it was thought up being an opposite of Nen, I was like, that's actually cool. And Own is actually cool looking. Powers are dope. You know, it looked like a legit power. Like if Togashi really wanted, he could write that in. Because it was a shame that we only saw Own in a movie. Because I mean, like Neterio, well, I probably won't spoil the movie for you because if you want to watch it, but the way it was set up, it was just like if like someone came up and there was like a opposite to Ki, like negative Ki or something like that, you know, or like opposite of like devil fruit, like heaven fruit or something like that. You know?
Okay. Well, do keep in mind. I mean, like, it's kind of it's not Own, but we are getting like a new power system in the manga right now with the Nen beasts, as I said. You know, like I mean, you know, there's sentient beasts that feed off of your fucking aura. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can do, and that's really all I much have to say.
Yeah, I guess. In closing, for me, it is difficult because you do have a lot of every time I reread, Hisoka and Gon's fight in the in the Heaven's Arena, he specifically says at the end of that fight, like next time, here I'm gonna get it up right now, and that's why it confuses the fuck out of me. It says, at the end of the Heaven's Arena fight, he says, so no more. This is our last fight here. There will be no rules or points next time. It will be life or death. And that hasn't happened yet, which is confusing because it really confuses me because like the way that Togashi has set it up, it really seems like Gon is out of the picture here. But like, I don't know. And also you got to keep in mind too, in order for Hisoka to fight Gon, either Gon has to somehow, I guess, is Hisoka trying to go into the Dark Continent after? Because like, what's Hisoka's end goal here? After he kills all the Phantom Troop on this boat, then what? Now he's on a boat to the fucking Dark Continent. Like, what's he gonna do there? He's gonna find more shit to fight.
He might try to do something with Kurapika because he's interested in Kurapika and the other road too.
That's true. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, he's gonna find himself in the Dark Continent and be like, shit, how do I get back? Either way. Well, because I mean, that also implies too, like, are we literally gonna have like Hisoka? Do we think that Hisoka's gonna survive this entire like? Hisoka's got the whole of Phantom Troop to kill. Is he really gonna kill all of the? Because it confuses me. There's so many things. But yeah, in order for Hisoka to fight Gon, he's got to survive all of this Dark Continent shit, and it's so either Hisoka would have to come back or Gon would have to go to the Dark Continent. And I guess Gon. Well, I mean, let me really quickly read this section too, where Gon is talking to Aunt Mito here. Okay. So Aunt Mito is talking to Gon. She says, "So you didn't want to travel with him, with Jing?" And he says, I don't really know. If I had met him when I could have used Nen, I might have gone with him. And why is that? I don't know how to put it, but I guess it wasn't that I wanted to see, or I guess it wasn't that I wanted to see him. I realized after I saw him that my goal had been to find him. It was fun talking to him. I was glad to meet him, and it made me happy. But he's more like an awesome uncle that I've always heard about, not like a dad. And then she's like, yeah, he's not cut out to be a dad, nor does he know how, nor is he willing. And he's like, yeah, he always told me. Like father, like son, I guess. Maybe I wasn't cut out to be a son. Sorry, that's not what I'm... And then she's all freaking out. I was like, no, it's fine. And then he says, "It's weird. It didn't cross my mind that I should stay with him just because he's my dad. But if I had been able to use Nen, and I felt how powerful he was, I would have wanted to go with him. But it was kind of chaotic when we met, and I couldn't feel aura." So he does imply that if he had Nen at the time, he probably would have went with Jing.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting. I guess here's my final thoughts on this. I don't want him to get Nen back because I do feel like it would fuck up the sacrifice and all that stuff. But I do think that there's things he could do with Gon, obviously. And obviously, and if there's any place that he could find a thing that would get his Nen back, it probably would be the Dark Continent. But Gon doesn't seem to want it right now. Now, like I said, I like your idea of Hisoka forcing him to get Nen back. I could see that happening. Also, at some point, I want to see Gon and Killua reunite as well, because Gon and Killua are great friends, and they talked about how they definitely in the chapter they separated. They did say they'd be texting each other and shit like that. But I'm sure they'll want to hang out again at some point. So yeah, I think he could do more. I just hope if he does do anything more with him, it's not involving Nen. That's my personal take on it.
Yeah.
Final words, Thurman?
No, I think we I think we covered just about everything, really, that I personally had to say.
All right, thank you everyone for watching.
Later, minions.
Oh, he's trying so hard to get that to stick.